Okay, lesson 8 is movement. And the reason I call it movement is because I cannot stand the word exercise. Personally, I don't like it all that much. But what I really don't like is the Americanization, the commercialization of what exercise has become. And the way that we define it in this country has actually turned it on a lot of people, and it actually becomes an extremely negative connotation and negative definition to a lot of us. So one of the things that I want to make sure that you get out of this lesson is exercise needs a new definition in your life, for most of you. I don't want to include all of you because some of you may be exercise professionals and already doing it right. But for the vast majority of us, we must redefine what exercise and what movement is in our day-to-day lifestyle. We have to think about it differently. We have to define it differently. So hopefully that will be something that happens within the process of this class. Okay? So first, the story behind your bones, muscles, and nerves. The very structure that you have to get moving. So the primary purpose of the lesson is to help you redefine your idea of structural health. This is the health of bones, muscles, and nerves, the structural aspects of your body, and to help you identify how you will keep your body's structural components healthy through your lifestyle or through the habits that you're building, developing, and putting in place, whether they've been in place before, maybe you're going to solidify them now with this program, or maybe now you're just getting started. Either way, that's the goal, is to get them going through lifestyle. Okay, so the concept of movement in our society today has become a commercialized view of exercise and weight loss. Can we all agree with that? Most of the time when you hear the word exercise, you immediately think burn calories, lose weight. And you almost can't separate any of them. The other side of it is the complete other side, where you see the fitness community doing their big bodybuilding poses, and the women who look, I've never seen a woman really look like that in real life. I don't know where they're getting these people. But that's even the community that I came out of. I started out in personal training and in the physiological side of things, doing the exercise, doing the bodybuilding and all of that. I was not nearly as healthy then as I am now. And I spend about half the time exercising as I used to. So we are going to redefine and kind of turn the whole thing on its head a little bit when it comes to exercise and weight loss, this whole concept of burning calories. Okay? So the concept of movement focuses on the awareness of all the things that are related to the structural health of the human body. So let's look at the systems that are included. First and foremost, the nervous system. Now, when you hear the word exercise, how many people have the concept of nervous system pop up in their mind right away? Not really. Don't really think about it at all. When we actually think about doing an exercise program or keeping up with an exercise habit, trying to get it into our day-to-day lives, we don't think about the fact that doing so is going to reinforce the health of our nervous system. We'll go through why later. Cardiovascular. We kind of get this a little bit, right? We kind of hear the health community trumpet this from back in their offices as they hand us another prescription. Yeah, you should exercise. It's good for your heart. So sometimes we hear a little bit about this cardiovascular system, but we'll talk a little bit more about it today as well. Endocrine. How many people here would like to get your hormones balanced out and keep your hormones balanced out? Again, a lot of times when we hear the word exercise or the concept of exercise, we don't think of the endocrine system as one of the first things that actually gets upregulated and begins to really balance out and start performing well. And most of the time, when you're hearing it from professionals anywhere, you're not hearing of the endocrine system. You're not hearing hormones being talked about. The endocrine system is one of the primary benefactors of exercise, and we'll go over that today. So those of you who came with concerns about hormones or would like to optimize your hormone balance, which, by the way, it's all of you, whether you knew it or not. We all want to optimize our hormone balance. The endocrine system is a big, big part of exercise. The skeletal system. I'll talk a little bit about some research today regarding the skeletal system and exercise. But the bottom line is we have a major epidemic in bone loss in this country. And it has a lot to do with inactivity. So we're going to directly connect how movement can reinforce your skeletal system today. It's amazing how you can remineralize bone and get it dense again with exercise as a part of your day-to-day movement plan, as a part of your lifestyle. The muscular system, obviously this one we hear about. We hear about muscles and we hear about how we can benefit our muscular system through exercise. One thing that's important to know is as you age, aging and not losing your muscular system in the process will keep you extremely active. It'll keep you healthy and happy. But a lot of people don't have enough protein intake as they age. They stop moving as they age, and you begin to lose a lot of muscle mass. It's called sarcopenia. We've all heard of osteopenia or osteoporosis. That's bone, but minimizing of bone or loss of bone. Sarcopenia is the loss of lean muscle tissue. How many people think that the end of your life will be really great if you've lost a good chunk of your lean muscle tissue through the aging process? The answer is it won't be. As we all know, we've seen people become immobile towards the end of life, and the faster you become immobile, the faster you basically have kind of that end-of-life time clock starts and it ends. So the muscular system is obviously one that's included. All of these systems, every system in your body, not even just the ones we listed here, these are the primary benefactors, but every system in the body is involved in movement and the benefits from physical activity when done in coordination with proper nutrition. Did you hear the last part of that sentence? In coordination with proper nutrition. Exercise cannot just be done on its own, because then, if it is, it becomes a stressor on your body. It actually becomes dangerous without nutrition to support it. Can anyone imagine why? Exercise is you expend energy. You're asking your body to move, right? You're saying, body, I want to lift this, or I want to walk this distance. I want to go do these things. And then you turn around, if nutrition wasn't in this equation here, you'd turn around and you'd put junk in your mouth, or we'd put processed food in our mouths that had nutrients stripped from it, or even worse, we'd put processed food in our mouth that had not only the nutrients stripped, but a whole bunch of junk added back in. And we'd wonder, why exercise isn't working for me? Ever heard that from someone? Maybe you're the one that said it. Exercise works for everybody. I can promise you, exercise works for everybody. The question is do you put the right things in motion when you're exercising, when you're asking your body for more? Nutrition becomes an extremely important part of that. This kind of blew my mind when I looked at kind of the general World Health Organization statistics out there on physical inactivity and what it's doing in general health. But according to the World Health Organization, physical inactivity has been identified as the 4th leading risk factor for global mortality. Number 4 in the world for death is simply not moving enough. Seems like we can really solve this one, folks. This lesson, by the end of this one, we should all have one of the leading factors for death in this country. We should have it licked. We can eliminate one of those risk factors now. So the fourth leading, with an estimated 3.2 million deaths globally every year, just from not moving enough. Now let's look at some of the things that we're a little bit more familiar with, especially in America. The World Health Organization estimates that 25% of breast and colon cancer are contributed directly to physical inactivity. When is the last time anyone said anything about preventing 25% of the cancer deaths in this country by just moving? I haven't heard that in the campaigns going on lately. That's preventive. That means the cancer won't happen. That's not catching it early. That means you never have to go through the process of treatment. Diabetes, 27%. Almost 30% of diabetes can be completely eliminated with physical activity. And ischemic heart disease, which is lack of oxygen to the heart, 30%. What do you think if we took 25, 27, and 30% of these diseases and the portion of the other major killers in this country and erased them just because we got enough physical activity? What do you think would happen financially to the economy? What do you think would happen to people's health in general? How many more mothers is that living? How many more fathers is that living? How many more daughters are not getting breast cancer? How many more uncles are not dying of colon cancer at the age of 40? That's a lot. I'm going to make sure you have very few excuses not to put movement on your daily calendar after this, because this stuff's just common sense. It blew my mind when I saw how monumental these statistics were. So health conditions that are associated with a lack of movement. These are health conditions where there is a direct connection between these diagnoses and just physical inactivity. Sarcopenia, loss of lean muscle tissue. We talked about that earlier. Osteopenia or osteoporosis, which is the loss of bone mass. Neurological dysfunction. We have an epidemic of neurological dysfunction going on, and neurodegenerative diseases. I don't know why I had such a hard time with that one. That's a bad sign, isn't it? I had a hard time pronouncing that one. Neurological dysfunction is a huge problem in this country. It's majorly affecting how we age. How many people think it's great to have a big fat bank account at retirement and then go crazy? Literally, you can't think right 5-10 years later. That was a great life plan, huh? Probably should have invested some more of that money back into some tools and things to move more. We're going to talk a lot about this one, because this is so much of what's going on in the mental disorder and in the mental degeneration of this country can be changed drastically, and there's tons of research behind it. Joint disorders. A lot of people have joint disorders these days. Do you know how many hundreds of % of increase we're doing on hip replacements and knee replacements? It's going through the roof. And now we're getting research back showing it's not really helping a whole lot, and that there's tons of complications. Chronic pain, surgeries, fatigue. Anyone here experience fatigue every now and then? Some of you are absolutely chronic fatigue, meaning you do not have enough energy every day. You are lacking energy. You feel like you're digging deeper and deeper and deeper into that energy account, that energy bank, and you're not getting any headway on it. Movement is a big part of that. Hormone imbalance, big issue with inactivity. Cardiovascular disease, meaning your arteries become inflexible. Instead of being nice and young and flexible and buoyant, they become stiff. Increase of injuries. Longer healing times. One of the reasons that I really like to stay healthy is because if something happens in my life, I want to know that I can get right through it and get back to work or get back to whatever I want to do. You realize if you're unhealthy and you get in a car accident, you have some type of issue happen, you have a lot lower chance of returning to the life as it was beforehand. This is one of the reasons why you want to live a healthy lifestyle, why nutrition should be important to you, why movement should be important. Because those of us who move normally heal faster, get less infections, those types of things. Metabolic disease, obviously, Syndrome X, metabolic syndrome, we've got epidemic of metabolic disease. Obesity, back and neck pain. We're going to talk a lot on pain today as well, because a lot of the pain that people experience can be completely eliminated through movement.